Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Monday. It is 18th of August. Is Bhadra Masa or Krishikesha Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Dasimi Tithi. There are no Vaishnavas today, but tomorrow is our Ekadasi, fasting from grains, beans, and cereals. So just a heads up. Okay, so apart from that, no events, we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Maitreya Rishi, so speaking to Vidura, so he has mentioned about the pastimes of Vidura, who he was previously. He was a Yamadharmaraja because of the Mandavya Muni's curse. So he has appeared as a Vidura now and as a son of maid servant. And here actually Vidura was the one of the close associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the one of the Mahajanas. And then, so Bhagavan Bhagavato Nityam Sammataha Sanugasyaha Yasya Jnanopadeshaya Ma Dishad Bhagavan Vrajan. So whenever Lord was leaving, so he has given those special instructions for you. So I will speak all of those things. Likewise, Maitreya Rishi mentioned, Adite Bhagavallila Yogamai Guru Brahmhitaha Vishwasthiti Udbhava Antardha Varnayami Anupurvashaha. I will explain all these matters about the creation, maintenance, and destruction in a step-by-step, systematical manner. Varnayami Anupurvashaha, systematically. And all the pastimes of the Lord, they are all Yogamaya Guru Brahmitaha. Yogamaya, they are performed on the internal potency of the Lord. Okay, so likewise, Maitreya Rishi started speaking to Vidura. So later on, so starting from in the beginning of the creation, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has existed. And by his will, everything is created and maintained and destroyed. And he has got so many names. According to his past tense, he has got so many names. Likewise, Maitreya Rishi started speaking about the creation. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 5, and verse number 23. Bhagavan eka asa idham agra atma atmanam vibhuhu atmechanu gatavatma nana mati upalakshanaham. Bhagavan Eka Asedham. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ekaha. He is the one without a second. Bhagavan Eka Asa Idam. And he existed in the before this creation. Idham Agra. So before this Idham, Idham is generally it is mentioned this material world. Before it existed, Agra. Agra is so it comes as a step prior to the creation. Bhagwan Eka Asedham Agra. Prior to the creation. Atma Atmanam Vibhuhu. In his own form, in his transcendental form, Atmanam. And who is of the living entities? Vibhuhu. He is the master of all the living entities. Atmanam Vibhuhu. Atma Atmanam Vibhuhu. Atmechanu Gatavatma. Atma is self, Icha by desire, Anugatau being made with Atma self. So he is always in the Yoga Nidra. in his transcendental position. Atmechanu Gatavatma. Atmechanu Gatavatma. Nana Mati Upalakshanaha. Nana Mati Upalakshanaha. So, different visions, Upalakshanaha, by symptoms. He appears with a different visions and symptoms. So with different names, so like he is a whenever he creates Mahavishnu, Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, Kshirodak Sai Vishnu, by his activities in, because he lies in the Karana ocean, Karanodak Sai Vishnu, in the Garbhodaka ocean, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, but he is the Vishnu. He is all pervading Lord. So by his activities, Nana Mati Upalakshanaha. Okay, likewise, Maitreya is mentioning about the Lord. So starting from beginning. Bhagavan Eka Asedham Agra Atma Atmanam Vibhuhu Atme Chanu Gatavatma Nana Mati Upalakshanaha. Set translation. The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. It is by his will only that creation is made possible, and again everything merges in him. This Supreme Self is symptomized by different names. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so there are two paragraphs. Can I request Gaurangi Mataji to read first paragraph and second paragraph by Swarup Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Okay. The great sack here being to explain the purpose of the four original verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. All thought they have to access to the Srimad Bhagavatam and followers of the Mayavada impersonalist school sometimes scroll out an imaginary explanation of the original four verses, but we must accept the actual explanation given herein by Maitreya Muni because he, along with Uddhava personality, heard it uh, directly from the Lord. The first line of the original four verse runs Aham Avasam Ivagre. Ivagre. The word Aham is uh, mi- misinterpreted by the Mayavada school into meanings which no one but the interpreter can understand. Here, Aham is explained as the supreme personality of Godhead, not the individual living entities. Before the creation, there was only the personality of Godhead. There were no Purusha incarnation and creation. uh, Certainly, no living entities, nor was there the material energy by which the manifested creation is affected. The Purusha incarnation and all the different energies of the Supreme Lord were merged in Him only. The personality of Godhead is uh, described herein as the master of all other living entities. He is like the sun dies, and he living entities are like the melancholies of the sun's rise. This extents of the Lord before the creation is confirmed by the Shrutis. Vasudeva va um, idem agre agra asit na brahma na cha sankhara eko bhai narayana asin na brahma nisanaha. Nisanaha. Because everything that be is an emanation from the personality of Godhead. He always exists alone without a second. He can so exist become. He is all perfect and omnipotent. Everything other than him, including his planetary explanation. The Vishnu Tattva is his part and parcel. Before the creation, there were no karne, uh, karana navasesi, karanar nana vesai, karanadasai. और गर्भोदकाशाय और Ksharodakshay Vishnu, nor was there Brahma or Sankara. The Vishnu planetary explanation and the living entities beginning from Brahma are separated parts and parcel. All thought the spiritual extension was there with the Lord. The material existence was dormant in him. By his will only is the material manufacturation done and undone. And the diversity of the Vaikun, mm, Vaikuntha Loka is one with the Lord, just as the diversity of soldiers is one with and the same as the king, as explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.7. And the material creation takes place at intervals by the will of the Lord, and in the periods between the dissolution and creation, the living entities and the material energy remain dormant in him. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is again Prabhupada here describing from the beginning of this creation. So Maitreya Rishi is mentioning here that one, the original 4 verses. The first statement is the aham eva sameva gre nan yed sad asad param pashadaham yeditcha yo avashesheta sosmyaham. So it is one of the Chatushloki Bhagavata. So it mentions the Lord directly speaks to Brahma, saying that I only exist before the creation, during the creation, after the annihilation of the creation. So that is the statement. So here, mentioning about the the followers of the Mayavada philosophies or the impersonalists, they mention like Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma means there is nothing, but they will give a different. And Saguna Brahma, they say Krishna is Saguna Brahma, but they do not explain that Krishna is the only objective for all kinds of austerities and penances and everything else. He is the only object. They do not agree to that. They also say Nirguna Brahma, Brahma Jyoti, something like that. They will give dual kinds of explanations. But in the Krishna, there is no dual. Krishna clearly says that even the impersonal Brahman is the uh, Krishna is the basis for that. That is depending on him. But they give different interpretations for that. So here, Maitreya Rishi is mentioning Bhagavan Eka Asedam Agra Atma Atmanam Vibhuhu. So the only Supreme Personality of Godhead, he existed. Okay, so here Bhagavan is existed. Okay, so but here Mayavada philosophers sometimes screw out the imaginary explanation of the original four verses. They screw out. This is what we generally see when we hear from them. But we must accept the actual explanation given here by Maitreya Muni because he, along with Uddhava, personally heard it directly from the Lord. So by this time, Lord has already spoken in the Bhagavad Gita that everything comes from me, and he declared it to everything to Arjuna. He has given all the knowledge, transcendental knowledge to Arjuna. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuda bhava samanvidaha. So that statement Krishna has already established. Later on, when Krishna was departing from this material world, again he spoke to Uddhava and Maitreya Rishi. So when he was speaking to Uddhava, Maitreya Rishi was present at that time. So he got an opportunity to hear directly. And the first line of the original four verses runs Aham eva sameva agre. I existed before the creation. Eva agre. The word aham is misinterpreted by Mayavada school into meanings which no one but the interpreter can understand. Sometimes they mention aham is a ego kind of thing. They will just, but here aham brahmasmi, sometimes aham brahmasmi, I am Brahma, that is, I'm the spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. They say in that perspective, in that angle, that this is a soul. But whenever it comes to when Krishna says that, they do not take to that way. They will take something different. So here, when the Lord mentions that it all always addresses to the speaker, whoever is speaking, it is addresses to the speaker. Aham. If I am saying that aham, I, that means it mentioning to the speaker. Okay, but this Mayavada school, they will interpret in different way. So here, Aham is explained as the supreme personality of Godhead, not the individual living entities. So before the creation, there was only the personality of Godhead. There were no Purusha incarnations. So no Purusha, and certainly no living entities. So nor was there the material energy. So material energy, everything in the beginning of the creation, uh, yettat trigunam avyaktam nityam sad asadatmakam, the three material modes of nature. Yettat trigunam avyaktam nityam sad asadatmakam pradhanam prakritim prahuho avishesham visheshavat. Pradhanam is the avishesham, and even that pradhana also for that one, Krishna is the only the basis. So here Prabhupada is describing one statement like the no Purusha incarnation and certainly no living entities before the creed. There was only the personality of Godhead, nor was there the material energy. For example, how do we perceive this one? There was no material energy, nor was there the material energy by which the manifested creation is affected. For example, if we see in front of us, there is one big object like a gigantic tree, and if it is burnt into ashes immediately, and with a big blow of the wind comes and then just blow it, and all tiny, tiny particles, it just merges into the air. One moment ago there was a gigantic tree. Gigantic tree. Now there is nothing. No object is there. And where does this all these small particles went? They merged into the air. Again, whenever Brahma in the Brahma Samhita Andhantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam. So the Lord enters into each and every particle of this universe. That one Brahma says in the Shri Brahma Samhita. Handantarastam Paramanu Chayantarastam. Ekopyasau Jagadanda. So that is in the Brahma Samhita, the Brahma speaks one particular shloka on that one. Okay, so that one, it is easy to understand, but there was no material energy as well. Again, in such a way, it is grasped into the air, and again, further minute elements. There are mind, intelligence, and ego. These are all material energy. Even that is also not existed, Prabhupada mentioning, nor was there the material energy by which the manifested creation is affected. The Purusha incarnations and all the different energies of the Supreme Lord were merged in him only. This one, it is also described vividly, so for all people to can understand, even for people in the mode of passion, they can understand. Like at the end of the creation, so there is Mula Prakriti, Narayana, and Lord Shiva. So they exist, and all these living entities up to 14 planet systems, they are annihilated, and then all these living entities entered into the body of the Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, and then he enters into the Karnadak Sai Vishnu, and then he goes back to again Narayana. Again, Narayana and all the living entities who are all Vaishnavas, they are with the Narayana. All the Saivites with Lord Shankara. And also the Mula Prakriti, who is the basis for entire this creation, material energy, and also internal potency of the Lord. So these three personalities, three elements. One is the Narayana, Mula Prakriti, Lord Shiva. They also entered into the body of Govinda, Krishna. And Mula Prakriti manifest even the Golok Vrindavan. Everything enter into the only one. So if there is only one object existed means it is only Krishna, the two-handed form of the Lord. And then Lord is in the Golok Vrindavana. There whenever he goes into the there is a Rasa Mandala there, Shatashringa mountain, and also Virija river. In between Virija river and the Shatashringa mountain, the Rasa Mandala, which is spread in so many of hundreds of yojanas. So where the Lord has got his couple of not, so beautiful Rasa Mandala. There he lies for some time, taking a nap. At that time, only the Lord is there. Nothing is manifested. That one, it is vividly described in the Brahma Vaivarta Mahapurana. That statement, it is perfectly aligned to the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuda bhava samanvitaha. I only exist. And here also, Maitreya Rishi mentions, Bhagavan eka asa idham agra atma atmanam vibhuhu. So here, everything is of the material nature. Everything is of the material nature before the creation. But all his spiritual abode, it is eternally manifested. Even the spiritual variegatedness, it is completely merged into the Lord. Then only Krishna is also there. Even the spiritual variegatedness merged into Lord, only Krishna is existed. That one easily explained, very nicely explained in the Brahma Mahapurana. And further, it is described here. The personality of Godhead is described herein as the master of all the living entities. He is like the sun disk, and the living entities are like the molecules of the sun rays. This existence of the Lord before the creation is confirmed by the Shrutis. Vasudeva idam agra asit. Vasudevo Vasudevova idam agra asit. Na Brahma, na cha Sankaraha. There is no Brahma, na cha Sankaraha, no Lord Shiva also. Eko vai Narayano asit. Eko vai Narayana asit. Only Narayana is there. Na Brahma, na Ishanaha. So there are two different statements. Two different statements. Both are as a describing that only Narayan is existed before. So in the Shrutis, and everything that he is an emanation from the personality of Godhead. Everything that is an emanation from the personality of Godhead. He always exists alone without a second. He can so exist because he is all perfect and omnipotent. He is omnipotent. And everything other than him, including his plenary expansions, the Vishnu Tattvas, is part and parcel. They're also part and parcel. And before the creation, there were no Karnodakasaya Vishnu or Garbhodakasaya Vishnu or Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, nor was there Brahma or Shankara. The Vishnu plenary expansion and the living entities beginning from Brahma are separated part and parcels. Although the spiritual existence was there with the Lord, the material existence was dormant in him. The material existence was dormant. And so later on, so many millions of years again, all these particles come together and form kind of the material energy, and which will be again Daivakyubhya Dharminyam Swasyam Yonah Parahuman Adatya Viryam Sasota Mahatattvam Hiranmayam. Until the Lord agitate with his energy three material modes of nature and also the living entities, he inject all these living entities into this material nature, it will be completely in dormant state. So this is Dhaivat Kshubhita Dharminyan. Swasyam Yonah Parah Puman. Adatta Viryam. Adatta Viryam. Viryam means injecting all the living entities into the material nature. Adatta Viryam. Saswata Hiranmay. Mahatattvam Hiranmayam. The Hiranmayam is the golden, all the living entities. When we see that Goloka chat, all the living entities in the golden form, they are coming into this contact with the Mahatattva. Then they will form the universes, the eggs, gigantic eggs will form with the 7 layers. Maha Saptavadrihi, the Saptavadrihi with the 7 layers. Okay, so until that point, until Lord's glance on the material world, it is in the dormant state. By his will only, a material manifestation is done and also undone. The diversity of the Vaikuntha is one with the Lord, just as the diversity of soldiers is one with the same as the king. Again, so this we see sometimes describe about the Vaikuntha planets, and it has got all variegated nice palaces and aeroplanes and women and men. They're all serving the Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvad Siya Lakshmiya Justam Swam Dishyamavishat. It is mentioned Sarvad Siya Lakshmiya with all kinds of opulences and all kinds of airplanes. There are described like Yat Sankulam Haripada Anati Matra Dushtaihi Vaidurya Markata Hemamayihi Vibanayihi. They are made with all kinds of jewels and so many trees. Yatra Naishireshim Nama Vanam Kam Dugaihi Drumaihi Sarvatu Sribihi Vibhrajat Kaivalyam Eva Murtimat. Kaivalyam Eva Murtimat. Murtimat is variegatedness. Everything is personified. It has got individuality in that Vaikuntha Loka. They serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is variegatedness. So like a king has got all his soldiers, ministers and everything. Wherever he goes, everyone accompanies him. Likewise, the Lord has also got all his entourage. Tam twagatam pratibhuta aupaikum swasum bibihi te chakshata akshabeshim swasamadhi bhagyam hamsa sriyoho gajanayoho sivvaya lola shubhra atapatrasis sesikesarasi karambhum. So this is very beautiful whenever Lord is coming with a goddess of fortune along with his associates having the umbrellas on top of keeping the umbrellas on top of the Lord. And also the so many Nanda and Sunanda, they are doing the chamara. And he is walking, that is his entourage. Along with him, so many other associates are there. It is happening in the Vaikuntha while the 4 Kumaras, they went to the Vaikuntha and watching the Lord is coming with his entourage. And when we go to the temples and the festival occasions, for example, in the South India, there is Sri Rangam temple, Tirumala, when there is a festivals, Brahmotsavas, the great festivals. During that time, the Lord comes and the the palanquin with having a white umbrella on top, and all the brahmanas, they are doing the chamaras this side and that side, and everyone are looking and watching. For example, Garudotchava. It is one of the festivals of Brahmotchavas. So Brahmotchaval goes for around 9 to 11 days. So out of those days, Lord will go on the palanquin one day, like on the Garuda, another day on the Hanuma Vahana, another day Hamsa Vahana. Likewise, different Vahanas and Adishesha Vahana, Chinna Sesha Vahana, Pedashesha Vahana. Likewise, he goes on different uh, Vahana means it's the vehicles or his carriers. So everyone go and look at those things, that opulence of the Lord. These are like the Vaikunthas manifested on the earth, but these are all Akanditotsavam, Jagamalokam Swam Akanditotsavam. Once the Lord comes here and incarnates and performs his pastimes, he goes back to his spiritual abode back, and where all these kind of festivals happen eternally. And those are, and here we have got temples in this planet. These are all again the replicas of the spiritual world, replicas of the spiritual world. So this is the diversity of the Vaikuntha Loka. Okay, as explained in the Bhagavad Gita 9.7, so here the Krishna says, Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshe punastani kalpado visujamyaham. Sarvabhutani kaunteya, all these living entities, O Arjuna, Kaunteya, Prakritim yanti mamikam, and they enter into my nature, Prakritim yanti mamikam, by into my nature. Kalpakshaye punastani, so that is Kalpakshaye, at the end of the millennium, punastani, they come into me, and then Kalpadu Visurjamyaham, in the beginning of the creation, again I create them. So likewise, Lord says, the material creation takes place at intervals by the will of the Lord, and that in the periods between dissolution and creation, the living entities and the material energy remain dormant within him. सवैकिलायं पुरुषः पुरातनो एकासीत् अविशेषात्मनि अग्रे गुणाभ्यो जगदात्मनेश्वरे निमिलितात्म निशिषुप्तशक्तिषु by his the dormant condition living entities or jagriti swapna sushuptishu. There are three stages of living entities. Jagriti is when we are waking up and carrying out our activities, that is jagriti. Swapna is a sleeping time, like a for small time in the night times we have got that experience. Sushuptishu is the deep slumber. It will goes for dormant condition for a very long time, deep slumber. Okay, so at that time all the living entities and lies dormant in the body of the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu in this universe. But likewise, in every universe, all those living entities rest in the body of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Again, when the day of the Brahma starts again, he recreates. So there is again dissolution and then recreation. Okay, so likewise Prabhupada is describing here. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Maitreya Rishi mentioning this one to Vidura. Bhagavan ek asedam agra atmanam vibhuhu atmechanu gatavatma nanamati upalakshanaha. Okay, likewise, Maitreya is mentioning that is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Jai. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Jagadisha, November 4th, 1970, Bombay. Can I request Swarup Prabhuji to read this letter, Prabhuji?
Sure, Prabhu. Hare Krishna to everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Jagadisha, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 11th October 1970 with enclosed news clippings, and I have noted them with great satisfaction. Though I am now in India with a few of my men, and we are having some success here, still my Guru Maharaja has instructed me to spread this Krishna conscious movement in the Western world. So this is our first business. Therefore, I am much pleased to hear that there is progress in this respect in your zone of Canada. The new clippings which you enclose are encouraging to me. The publicity is very important in the advancement of our preaching work. Only the standard should be that our philosophy be presented factually. I can see that you have developed first class relations with the press, and this is a sign of your sincerity. Please continue and expand this propaganda work to all parts of Canada. Even religious leaders of Christian faith like Reverend J.G. MacDonald, Toronto, are appreciating our sincere presentation. And I think that you may invite him to our Toronto temple for Kirtana and Prasadam. I wish to know how many of my books are being distributed in Canada. Especially, we should inject this philosophy into the universe and high schools with our books. So please try for this and send me the report. It is my plan that in my old age, I am handing over all matters of temple management to you, and you may simply carry on and expand the programs which I have introduced. And in this way, I'll be free to translate. Hope this will meet you in good health. Offer my blessings to your good wife, Lakshmi Moni, and to all the other boys and girls at Toronto Temple. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. NB, I have not received the monthly $15 maintenance from my Canadian centers. Please see that this is sent in readily negotiable American Express checks, as personal checks take 1 or 2 months to clear. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any takeaway points, Prabhuji, from this letter?
Uh, yes, I think Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada is, emphasizing on the book distribution and on spreading the Krishna conscious movement in the Western world, which was his Guru Maharaj's instruction. So he's saying that is the first business, and that is the uh, his main objective. Also, he's saying that he would like to pass on the management of the temple uh, to the devotee and according to his philosophy, and saying that he would like to focus more on book translations. Also, one thing he has mentioned is that which is very important is which I for me to understand is that the publicity is very important in the advancement of the preaching work. Only the standard should be that our philosophy be presented factually. I think that's a very key takeaway for me, that emphasis on factually. It's nothing to, we cannot speculate, we cannot this thing. It has to be as per the shastras and as prescribed in the shastras. These are the few takeaways, Prabhuji, for me.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for kindly.
Sorry, also he's talking about um, putting this knowledge or the philosophy in the universities and the high schools, so that it can reach to the wider audience. I think that's what he is emphasizing. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely summarized and explained. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add? Any other comments? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And also we need, Prabhupada is mentioning to look at the management fees as well. Management fees in the sense for distributing. So at the end, maintenance from Canadian centers. It is required. If there is an organization, means it also needs some land, labor, and some kind of dravya Dravya Jnana Kriya Ashrayah. For anything, Dravya Jnana Kriya Ashrayah. Okay, so but everything is to be spiritualized.
Prabhu, what is the meaning of the last sentence that you said?
So this is Dravya Jnana Kriyastrayaha Badnanti Nichidamuktam Mainam Purusham Gunaha. This is one of the statement by Maitreya Rishi. A living entity appears in this material world and it is given opportunity. This is Dravya means which can be spent or like money or gold. These are all called Dravya. Jnana is giving an intelligence. Kriya is the activity. कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे द्रव्यज्ञानक्रियाश्रयाः बध्नन्ते निश्चितामुक्तं मायिनं पुरुषं गुणः. The living entity is entangled that this is my house and this is I have got enough balance. This is my family. I have to maintain them. That in such a way he is entangled in this material world. But in the spiritual world as well, there is a activity. But everything for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of God. They're all in the liberated state. But here, living entity, whenever he is doing for his family, his body, and those things, it is called entanglement. Badnanti, Nichidam. Even though he is freed, he is a living entity, part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is entangled. When we utilize all of these things in the spreading Krishna consciousness, he is liberated. He is said to be in the liberated state. And Narada Muni, he mentions one of the statement, uh, this is what is that statement is amate yasha bhutanam jayate yena suvrata amaite yasha bhutanam jayate yena suvrata tadevihi amayam dravyam na punati chikichitam. That is when we have got all these appliances, whatever we have got, because he has got this dravya jnana kriya. If he is utilizing, it is for in his diseased condition for himself. Amaye. This is it is said in the first canto, chapter 5. Amitena. For all the living entities, because of the desires, sense gratification, or lord it over material nature, that is called a diseased condition. Tadevihi amayam dravyam, and it will turn into medicine whenever it is engaged in the devotional service. And it will treat the diseased condition as well. The same thing it will treat. So whatever we have got, these things, engage them in the devotional service. So it will be spiritualized. Tadevihi amayam dravyam. Okay, so that is just wanted to describe. And Prabhupada is asking some maintenance for the spiritual spreading of Krishna consciousness movement. Okay, so thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for explaining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any other comments? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got Monday evening at 8 p.m. Chaitanya, sorry, teachings of Lord Chaitanya at 8 p.m. So we just go through those qualities of Krishna, continuing, and then once again we resume teachings of Lord Chaitanya again from the 14th chapter. Okay, so that is updates from me. And the devotees, if you have got any updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, like the temple updates, you have gone to the temple and met the devotees, or you wanted to share anything, kindly share. So, Hare Krishna. Okay, no updates, no sharings from yesterday. Hare Krishna, Jai Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. After all that yesterday, I still didn't get to see Usha Mataji. Unfortunately, I did go around, but I couldn't see her. But yeah, it was my misfortune. The
I came
previous day.
round also, Mataji. Why?
Sorry.
I came round also to recycling point, but I couldn't see you.
I
So
know, I
yeah,
know. We were just like,
very
we
busy.
might have been given a break at that time. I was on the last point, but it was so busy. It
Okay.
was just so busy yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just, yeah, but it was so nice. My 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 family, my mom especially came for the first time, and she had a wonderful time. She's elderly, but she had a good time. So I think the highlight for me was, it was just, the whole thing was so bliss. It was so wonderful, and all the volunteers putting in so much, all the decorations, the darshan queue which had the cantos, Bhagavatam cantos, and a brief mention of the story. So starting with the three avatars, the the three Purusha avatars, then canto 3, 4, 5, stories from all of them and lovely pictures. If I'm allowed, I could share it in the group. I know some people have seen it already, but those people who haven't seen, I could just share it in our group if I'm allowed. But it was so lovely the way they decorated it. I thought that was really so good. It was amazing. And
Yes,
they had story
Mataji.
of Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj. Sorry, Mataji, go on, please.
No, it was so beautiful, Mataji. I took some pictures also, but yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, please share Mataji in the group, so that would be so wonderful to share you the videos. That is very nice.
Videos, yes, I have a little bit of video, but not that much. I'll share the photos in sequence. I think I took it in sequence. So if I'll share that, and then anything else, if Usha Mataji has anything else, she can put that as well. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, as Mataji said, it was such a great organization and so many volunteers putting so much of work to manage because it was very busy both on Saturday and Sunday. Like it was, I do not know the number, but I can imagine it has been thousands of people, and really, oh, all the we're so grateful to all the volunteers for doing what they have done to manage it. It was at one point on Saturday they had to stop the people because it was becoming too much. So, but the whole this thing, the Radha Gokulananda was so beautifully decorated. The whole temple was so beautifully set up. So really, it is such a great endeavor to please Radha Gokulananda. It was fantastic, absolutely blissful.
Hare Krishna. Also, Keshav Swami was also going around and meeting people. And some of us, we were fortunate enough to have a picture taken with him. But yeah, it was nice of him to go around. So yeah, we can share those as well if you want.
Yes, Mataji. In fact, Keshav Swami Maharaj was there from the first service from 4:30, and he was organizing the things. He was managing. He was instructing. So, and then he was going around from each of the tents. So really, so much of hard work and devotion. So
Yes, yeah,
something to really see and learn from Maharaj.
yes,
He was like non-tired, like tirelessly. He was doing seva all through, and always with a smiling face.
yes,
Even when things were getting, really, really sort of out of control, but he was still smiling, and he was telling in a very nice way to the people that, okay, please vacate the temple room now because we have to set up something. He never was disturbed for 1 second in spite of so much of stress. That's something to learn from him.
Sorry, Prabhuji, whereabouts were you yesterday?
I was there. I was roaming around, and I was there in the kirtan tent for a while. I was there in the main this thing, in the hall where programs were going on. So, and on the first day, yesterday it was late, but first day I went at 4:30 in the morning for the first prayer, and then again I stayed till almost 7 o'clock in the evening. So again, I was going from places to places, spending a lot of time in the kirtan tent, listening to kirtan. So, but because I haven't seen faces of you all, we must have passed each other, but maybe it was difficult to recognize for me.
Yeah. I don't know when we will all meet, but I'm sure we'll meet soon.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
I
Prabhuji.
don't want to pranam all the devotees. Just the last word of the Mataji, when we will meet, that really encouraged me to say something. From the temple, we have always a request to hold the house program and house sangha. This is the best way to get, all our sangha devotee to connect it and meet each other. So please, whoever have the opportunity to do the house sangha, do it, and from the temple they will send people, and they will send the speaker and everything, they will be done. So that will be the best opportunity for all of us to meet together. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol, Prabhu.
Hare Bol. Okay, any volunteers for upcoming, maybe in a month time or week's time, you could arrange any home programs at home. So having Vaishnavas in the home, there is no better thing than that. You're spiritualizing entire your home. Okay, but whoever takes that one, it doesn't matter. You need to accommodate everything, the feast and everything. No, first of all, if you just wish it and just mention, everything will be manifested automatically without much distress. Everything is a happy thing, and you would never ever forget about it. The first events. Okay, so that is one thing again. Devotees can, if you have got such kind of environment at home, acceptable and facilitatable environment. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for mentioning that. Okay. If there is nothing else, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः भावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटि
वैष्णव बंधु की जय, की
Hare
जय.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य